Chapter 2, Common Church Hurt and How to Handle Conflict Biblically. There are many kinds of church hurt that are very common. I will use a couple situations from my own walk to illustrate. You may be able to relate. Very early on in my walk, the church where I was saved underwent a leadership change. I recall being so on fire during this time. The music would begin to play, and I would jump up from my seat so excited to worship. One day I recall opening my eyes, and I realized that I was the only one singing. Everyone else looked down and sad. They were hurting because of the leadership change. I see now that was the first time I witnessed church hurt, although that time it was from the outside looking in. Soon after, I began going to a different church. I remained there for over 10 years. Overall, it was an amazing experience, a place for me to truly learn and grow, until it wasn't. I began to feel socially excluded. For a long time, I thought it was just me and pushed to get past it. It felt a little bit like high school, when the cool kids get to do all the cool stuff. For a long time, I felt like I was one of the cool kids, accepted, belonging, and included. Then there was a shift. I also began to notice things that made me feel uneasy, like treating those who tied the most differently from others. They practically rolled out the red carpet. I'm loyal to a fault when I love, so I toughed it out longer than I probably should have. We finally made the decision to leave when I seen there was a misrepresentation and omissions of Scripture. That was a push that made me see without a doubt it was time to go. While these examples are fairly minor, it's very painful to go through nonetheless. The constant battle of is it me or is it them? Is there really an issue or am I making it up? Maybe it's my fault. I'm just not a likable person. Maybe if I try harder. Maybe if I ignore it. Maybe we can just go to worship because the worship is really good and we can ignore everyone else. It's a battle, no doubt, and it hurts. In a very recent encounter, my husband's father passed away. He was understandably devastated. I reached out to a pastor we've known for a long time. I asked if he could call and pray for my husband and give him counsel. His response was that my husband's father had not really died, that he was alive and well, and that I needed to turn to Jesus. I was stunned. How could anyone be so cruel? I then quickly learned that a huge smear campaign had been launched against my family. Almost a year ago, our family had to move away from a dangerous man who posed as a pastor and sought to harm my family to silence us because of what we know. He has been very busy since we've been gone, going to great lengths to damage our reputations, discredit, and silence us, deceiving those around him and using them to repeat these false claims. Those who seek to destroy us have mere words, while we have physical proof. I must add, there was also a recent encounter where we experienced conflict resolution in a biblical way. At a local church we had been attending, there were some hurtful and unnecessary words spoken to us by church leaders. After a brief cooling off period, we were able to have a good, loving conversation, extend grace, forgiveness, and continue to move forward in fellowship. After having experienced so much disappointment, it was so refreshing to be shown there are still churches in existence after God's own heart. One thing we must always remember when encountering wrongdoing is people let us down. They are fallible. Jesus never does. Please see the description box to connect with our team. We have provided a safe place for you to share your own experiences with church hurt and abuse. You will be provided with a safe place to share your heart, receive encouragement, prayer, and healing in a Christ-centered way. So how do we resolve conflict between believers God's way? Matthew 18:15 through 20 is the guideline and the example that Jesus has set for us. In Matthew 18, verses 15 through 20, Jesus has something to say about conflict and resolution. Number 1, have a private conversation. Meet in person with the one you have conflict with. Number 2, take it to a witness. Jesus says if they don't listen to you in step 1, take someone with you who knows you and your character and is perhaps even a witness to the situation. Number 3, take it to the church. Jesus said if the first 2 steps fail, to take it to church leadership. Number 4, break off the relationship. Resolution is now up to the other person, and they have to live with the choices they've made. You have done all you can do before God, and God will not hold you to your charge.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך. יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונקה. יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace.